A day after Officer Webster's body cam footage was released, the Baltimore Sun wrote an editorial saying there was no justification for such aggression by the police. And not everyone was happy about that. In 2019, you wrote a letter to the Baltimore Sun about this case. What was the point you wanted to make?
The point I wanted to make, and I think it's a point that I could have made in any number of cases involving law enforcement officers, is that there is an urgency to judge the actions of police officers before all the facts are known.
Jason Johnson is president of the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund, which provides support to officers charged with crimes.
The black male wearing all black just fled on foot.
After watching that video, how would you describe Officer Webster and the other officers' actions?
I think they responded to, a very difficult situation.
He said Anton Black's death was a tragedy, but he said none of the officers were to blame.
I don't see any indication of malice. I don't see any indication of indifference to Mr. Black's health or well-being. And so I think it meets the professional standard.
He needs help.
Yeah.
So he's not getting locked up?
No.
We're going to get him to the hospital.
They seemed to recognize that this was primarily a mental health emergency. They seemed empathetic in their communication, both with Mr. Black and with Mr. Black's mom. I really felt like it was a professional response.
But Johnson did question some of Officer Webster's choices, like when he smashed the car window.
I do think that is the one key moment that I think there's fair criticism. An objective observer could look at that and it certainly could question. And with Mr. Black's mom, I really felt like it was a professional response.
But Johnson did question some of Officer Webster's choices, like when he smashed the car window.
I do think that is the one key moment that I think there's fair criticism. An objective observer could look at that and it certainly could question. I think the questions are reasonable ones.
Was tasing a good option in this case?
I think the use of the taser was objectively reasonable. I don't think that it was the best choice, candidly.
Officer Webster, through his attorney, declined multiple requests for an interview with Dateline, but he did speak on the record.
Did you happen to be working on September the 15th?
Yes, sir, I was.
After Anton Black's death, the Maryland State Police launched an investigation and interviewed Webster about what happened that night, starting with the initial 911 call.
A child being held against his will, unlawful, some sort of unlawful imprisonment.
Once on the scene, he said he reassessed the situation.
This was being treated as a psychiatric emergency, that this was going to end up being a medical emergency first.
Okay.
Versus a fleeing suspect.
Webster said he had good reason to smash that window.
Is he going to do something dangerous in this vehicle? Are we going to is he retrieving a weapon?
As for the taser,
my end goal in deploying the taser was to get him subdued.
When it didn't work, Webster says they had no choice but to wrestle Anton to the ground.
Stop! Stop! You're under arrest!
He wasn't responding to orders to stop resisting, and he was very, very difficult to hold on to because of his strength.
At the end of the hour-long interview,
is there anything else that you want to say? Or
Webster didn't express regret. Instead, he said he was grateful.
I was very fortunate to have as many people there to help, including the civilian motorcyclist, and it could have been a more protracted, longer struggle.
A struggle he says he couldn't have handled alone.
If it had just been Mr. Black and myself, I'm not sure that we would have been able to take him into custody as safely.
Safely, of course, is not a word Anton's family would use to describe how it ended. They think a crime was committed, and not by Anton. So what should happen to Webster, in your opinion?
He needs to go to jail and don't get out.
Lord have mercy.
The death of Anton Black raised so many difficult questions about race, mental illness, use of force, theories of policing. And now, Anton's family was about to get answers about how he died and whether anyone would be held accountable for his death.
Anton's autopsy report is released and sparks a new controversy.
coming up.
From what you've learned from the Anton Black case, what is the proper manner of death?
Homicide. Anton Black was in a fight and lost. And that is a homicide.
When Dateline continues.
4 months after Anton Black's death on his own front doorstep, the autopsy report came out. The manner of death, accident.
It's an accident. You begging for your life and they don't get off of it. How's it an accident?
The report was co-signed by Maryland's then chief medical examiner, Dr. David Fowler. You'll want to remember his name. It said that while it was likely that the stress of the struggle contributed to his death, no evidence was found that restraint by law enforcement directly caused or significantly contributed to it. The cause of death, it stated, was a heart defect, and a significant contributing condition was bipolar disorder. The day after the autopsy report was released, the county prosecutor announced no charges would be filed.
You took somebody's life and you don't even get charged.
It's kind of like they were exonerated as soon as Anton's autopsy report was signed.
The role of the medical examiner was yet another issue captured in the harsh light of Anton Black's death.
Our role in legal cases plays a huge part.
Dr. Roger Mitchell is a former chief medical examiner for Washington, D.C. Today he's head of pathology for Howard University and an expert in investigating deaths like Anton's that occur in police custody.
He was breathing, running, talking before the fight, and he's no longer breathing, talking, running, and he dies.
Dr. Mitchell says even if Anton had a heart defect, the reason he died was due to that struggle.
Men laying on him that are twice his size. That heart issue could now show itself to be fatal.
His bipolar condition was listed as a contributing cause. Did that make sense to you?
In the case of an altercation with another person that leads to death, I'm not quite sure why the bipolar is on the death certificate.
Anton's autopsy noted petechiae and hemorrhages, often a sign of asphyxiation.
If there's an asphyxial component, if he's, able to breathe under these law enforcement officers, we can't see that, right?
From what you've learned from the Anton Black case, what is the proper manner of death?
Homicide. Anton Black was in a fight and lost, and that is a homicide.
Which is not the same as a murder. It doesn't mean Webster or anyone else committed a crime. Whether they did anything wrong, that's a legal matter.
That is correct.
Here is where Anton Black's case intersects with George Floyd's. When former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin went on trial for murder, his defense called an expert witness.
I was watching it live from my office.
Chauvin's expert was none other than Dr. David Fowler, the same medical examiner who co-signed Anton Black's autopsy report.
Potentially carbon monoxide poisoning.
Dr. Fowler told the jury that despite Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck, in his expert opinion, the manner of death was undetermined.
I was appalled. I began writing an open letter that called for an investigation in all deaths in custody in Maryland. If Anton Black is an accident and George Floyd is undetermined, then how many other cases that we have no idea about are accidents and undetermined?
In September 2021, Maryland's Attorney General launched a review of all in-custody death cases during the time Dr. Fowler served as the state's chief medical examiner. Of the 1,300 cases on that list, 87 were examined in an independent audit. Findings released in May 2025 revealed a pattern of racial and pro-police bias within the ME's office. Anton Black's death is one of 36 that a panel of pathologists determined should have been ruled homicide, not accidental, natural, or undetermined. Amid all the unanswered questions that still linger in this case, there is one remarkable statement made by, of all people, Jason Johnson, who makes his living defending the police.